Well, now it's time once again to work on our website project. Here we're going to add some video to the pages. Since in the previous lessons we've already set up and prepared our video files for playback, and we've written the base code to get the video to play, we can make use of this directly on our page, because it's exactly what we need. First, I'll open up the Working Files folder in a new window, and then we can see our website project once again. Next, we're going to need to have access to all the files that our video is going to use. I like to keep my websites neat and tidy, so I'm going to create a new folder here and call it Media. And we'll use that for all the video files that we need on the site. Now I can go over to our Section 8 folder, and I'll make sure to grab the poster and all three of the other video format files, and I'll just copy them into my Media folder. Next, we can open up the page that our video goes on, which is going to be the drinks page here. So I'll open it up in my text editor. And we can go back over to the video sample page that we just created, and I'll copy the complete video tag with all the sources and the user message included in it. And then we can just go over to our drinks page, and I'll place it here after the main page header and before the drinks table. The code we have here is mostly correct, with all the right types, but for the sources we need to make a quick change to reflect that all of these are now in the Media folder instead of the main folder for the site. So I'll just add in Media and a slash at the beginning of the path. And we'll need that for each one of our items. So I'll copy it here and paste it into the source path for each one. Now let's save our changes so far, and we'll check and see how it looks. I'll just open up the drinks page in the browser, and now we can see our video loads right up here at the top. We've got our poster file, our control set, and it looks like it's ready to go. I can control it just like the other video, and even go out and watch my video full screen. Now I would like to do a few things to space this out and arrange it on the page a little bit better. So let's go back over to our text editor and we'll add in some styles. I'll just open up our style CSS sheet in the text editor. And we can go down to the bottom and set up a video tag selector. And inside that rule, let's change a few properties that will affect the margin settings. I'd like to have a little bit more margin down here underneath before the table drops in. And if we add some margin over here on the left-hand side, we can push the video over so it's hanging in the middle. So first, I'll go to my CSS style sheet and I'll add in a margin bottom property. And we'll set that to 20 pixels. Then we'll add in a margin left property. And we'll set that to half the remaining width on the page, which is 160 pixels. Now let's save our style sheet changes. And when we go back over and refresh the page, we can see that our video block is moved around and it's spaced much better with the rest of the content now. Now just for fun, I'd like to try something else. Our video tags have a lot of capability, especially when we pair them with some of the new CSS3 properties that are available too. So let me go back over to the style rule we just created, and let's add in another property. Something new that we can do to all kinds of media elements with CSS3 is use the filter property. We can use this property to do computational adjustments on the image, or in this case, the video. Now just as an example of this, I'd like to try out the grayscale value. This lets us set a value for the grayscale and basically desaturate the colors. We use a number from 0 to 100%, so if I set ours at 100%, that'll remove all the color from our video. Now let me save it and try it real quick. I'll refresh the page, and I'm not really seeing the grayscale that I was expecting here. And that's because, like a lot of different CSS3 properties, it's not quite implemented in the same way into all browsers. So let's go back to our code one more time. The filter property by itself is only implemented in a couple of browsers. But most of our modern browsers actually do have this available in an experimental state. When that's the case, we'll need to actually add in something to our property value to be able to specify which browsers we want to target. So let me copy this instruction that we just made, and I'll go right above it and paste it in again. But this time we'll prefix the property name with a vendor name. It starts with dash, and since I'm using the Chrome browser, I'll use the WebKit vendor. We'll add another dash, and then we have filter, the normal property name. Here I'm calling the same property with the same value, but I'm doing it specifically for the WebKit browsers. If you wanted to include Firefox as well, we can just make another copy of this, and I'll change the vendor from WebKit to Moz. M-O-Z. Now we've added 3 different instructions. The first one will target all of our WebKit browsers. The second one, the Mozilla browsers, Firefox. And the third one will be the generic control once all the browsers catch up and start using this as a default. Now this is a pretty good example of what you'll need to do when you want to use some of the CSS3 properties. But let's save our changes so far, and we'll see if it works. I'll go back out to our browser, and I'll just refresh the page with the new style sheet. And now you can see that the grayscale kicks in, even on the poster image we see up here at the top. When I play or control the video, it's now playing completely grayscale. So you see we can have a lot of fun with our video files once we have them set up. Well, now that we've added our streaming video element to the site, we've actually completed our project and our lessons. In the next final section, I'll have a wrap-up for you and some free resources, tools, and tips that will help you get your first sites created and designed.